So I got on the casters ready to go and swap it in. But the next piece of this puzzle is, as I was mentioning before, and I'm going to repeat myself because I'm going to chop up a portion of this video to make a little vignette on just doing the pinion snub install, because a lot of people have asked about that since I mentioned it before, and when I've looked around, all I can find is old forum posts, so hopefully this is helpful. So basically, I'm not sure where, but underneath the car on the body, this is going to mount in there, and it's going to sit somewhere along here. And so what that's going to do is it's going to stop. So here obviously the U-joint comes in and the drive shaft mounts to here, and when you hit power, since it's flexible, it will kick up. And it causes damage to this bracket here, which a lot of people reinforce with welding on gussets and so on. And then this diff mount breaks a lot of the time. And then it gets real bad. You can hear it dong, dong against the bottom of your car. So to fix that, we're going to be installing a pinion snubber. And then what that's going to do is keep this whole assembly nice and level. It's going to make it more predictable under power. If you want to do quick gear changes, even if you wanted to do a clutch kick or drop it and do a burnout, it's not going to kick up nearly as much. This is polyurethane as well. This product comes from, is it here? Energy Suspension as well, which is where all these other polyurethane bushings come from. And it actually came with two, which is great because I have two FCs. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that installation right now, and then we'll go ahead and throw the subframe up. Okay, so we're going to come inside into the back where the storage bins would be. Now, I have the storage bins out. Don't mind all this wiring. I'm going to be cleaning it up, and I have this fuse block here. But with the interior out, I figure obviously it's a very easy and better time to do this. So right here, this is where obviously the transmission sits in here, drive shaft connects back here, and this should be the front of the differential, and the rear subframe mounts right in here. So all the information I found says that right here is this little dimple, and that's where you drill a 3/8 inch hole and install this pinion snubber. So we're going to go ahead and just drill a hole in the bottom of the car now. So let's see. Hopefully this is the correct location. Okay, well, I didn't hit anything, so that looks correct. So what I'm going to do right now is put a little bit of primer, or not primer, rust steel paint in there so that there's no exposed metal. And then we'll be back once it's dry so we can continue with the installation. And let's provide a view from underneath so you can see. Yep. So here is the hole that was drilled. So still waiting for that paint to dry, but that's where she's going to come out, right there. Okay, so we're ready to start installing this thing. So luckily Jeff is home, because I'm going to have to be underneath the car sticking this thing through, and you're going to have to put a nut on it. But one of the things you need to have are some fender washers, and these are 3/8 by 1.5 inches. It's recommended in most write-ups to have 2 inch, because as you can see, there's a little bit around. I think it's going to be just fine, and I need to get this install done because I need to get the subframe in. So I think these will suffice, and you want to put a few on the bottom because you want the depth to be correct as like a preload, so that it is pressed against it just to begin with and have enough room for compression. And then you put some on top, probably just one, so that you are bolting down to a stronger surface than just bolting right into the chassis and having this thing flex just on that one point and just come right through. So I'm going to go ahead and start with 2. Now, just as a note, this can be serviced without taking the whole subframe out. You just undo the bolts there and loosen the link that comes right down here, and then you can drop this enough to do this without taking this whole thing off your car. But we have it out, so we're going to do it like so. So, Jeffrey, here's the nut. I will shimmy underneath here.
Oh, where's it coming out now?
In there, so you're going to want to get inside that hole in the middle.
Ah, Got it.
Right
Yeah,
there.
got it.
Okay. Here we are.
Alright, washer over.
Yep, thank you.
And
Yeah, it's locking, so it's going to be a little difficult
Alright.
to tighten it, but
yeah, it's locked. I need to, but it's there. You're good.
okay. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and go with 3 additional ones, which is all of the ones that I have, because Jeff's saying he was able to fit like almost the entire width of a wrench in between there. So hopefully that does it. So I'm going to go back underneath and put this in. Subframe's all the way back in, looking great, but we had to back it out a little bit because once we got everything completely tightened down, the pinion snubber device was not touching. So I know this looks wacky. I think it's going to be okay, but we added some more spacers in a pretty aggressive amount because as long as it goes up when we tighten everything up, we're right where we want to be. So we're going to go ahead and try and squeeze this in from below again. We finally got it to the point where, try and push it up and down there, Jeff. Doesn't go up and down, thank goodness. So can you try and take what's left of this cutoff wheel and make the
Groove deeper.
groove deeper? So Jeff got that groove deep enough. Now we're going to try and tighten it down before I put the subframe back in place, just in case it kind of straightens itself out.
Okay, she pretty good in there. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, very good. Now we will finish tightening up the subframe apparatus, and then we're pretty much done. Well. We still need to get the brake rotors on and get it on the caster so we can move it around.
And bolt the suspension back on.
Yeah, on your side. But we were making some great progress, and we worked from the front back, removing everything, and we're working from the back to the front. So in the previous video, we got the fuel pump in there, we got the fuel lines ran, we got the new subframe on tonight. I mean, what do you think about what we're doing?
It's a lot, like everything except for the color of the car is changing.
That's true.
All the wiring, all the bushings, everything rubber, all the fuel lines, you know, that's all being changed out. So it's a big project. It's a really big one, bigger than the first one was.
Yeah, and I feel like we're doing it better this time. I feel like the first time was almost like a dry run where we were learning how to do things.
Yeah, well, there was so much learning involved in that first one that we know how to do this time.
Yeah, and I mean, if you saw in the video how we're like jerry rigging everything, if you saw previous videos, I got a 13B and a wheelbarrow. I made a random press out of a pipe bender and a bottle jack. But I mean, we got a lot accomplished. We've got the S4 subframe in with the 1.5-way LSD. We've got the DTSS eliminators in now. We've got all polyurethane bushings. We've got Mazda Speed OEM brand new diff and subframe bushings, which are the competition level.
Yes.
We've got the diff mount is already the Mazda competition mount.
The competition, yeah.
And now we got a pinion snubber to hold everything in place.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot. That's honestly huge.
Yeah, that's huge. So I think that'll do it for this one.
Does it get cleaned?
Hopefully the lens was clean enough that whole time, but that's going to do it for this one. There's going to be 2 videos that come out with this, which is just going to be the diff subframe, the whole process, and then a smaller vignette, which is just going to be just the pinion snubber. I'm going to link that to some forums, but it's going to have the same outro. So if you're watching just from the pinion snubber, hey, check out the whole build. If you're watching and staying along for the whole build, thank you so much. Please remember to click the link in the description below if you have not already signed the RPM Act to protect our cars and cars like this one. Stay kind to each other out there. And when they ask you, tell them you want more.